What is going on, everybody? We are back with another episode. Thank you to the one person who is watching my videos. You know who you are. I don't, but you know. Today we are building an exhibit right behind the Grizzgoat mountain sign. This will be... The idea behind this is kind of the old Victorian style, I think is how you would describe it, of like those big greenhouses with the massive glass ceilings that you'll see sometimes. I love that style, and I'm really happy with how this came out. You'll see I'm trying the floor technique that a lot of other zoo builders will use, and I don't know if I like it. Mainly because I put it all down and then I didn't realize it was not the same height as the other one, and the wall was floating. So then I go through and change it. And then I believe in the end... yeah, actually I keep with it in the end, I think. But yeah, so we're building a new exhibit. I think this... Right now I just have one animal planned for this this building. The other half might be turned into kind of a food court area, or I might put another animal to kind of mirror the other exhibit. But right now we're just kind of focusing on building this building up, getting the proportions right. Somewhere along the lines, I think it's from the pathways probably, my grid structure is off just ever so slightly. So the building is just a little off, but that's just something my OCD is gonna have to deal with. So here we are putting on some columns, and the columns do not last long. I kind of got some motivation to do something else with these corners after realizing how janky they looked. I didn't get them perfectly straight after I'd placed them all down. See, the top is a little bit off from the bottom. So if anyone has any like techniques on how to line things up better, that would be great. Aside from just me being better at paying attention to detail. But, I mean, if that's your advice, that is good advice. Now, here's another thing. I didn't have everything set back to the far back one, so I have to move everything back. Make sure everything's symmetrical on all sides. Now, originally the building was going to have kind of the concrete feel, or I believe I'm using the limestone. So it was gonna have like the solid roof portions and then these big skylights on the inside. But then we kind of just go all out on the glass. So, and I like I said, I'm really happy with the final product. And if you could like and subscribe while you're at it. I don't like saying that, but honestly, I'm just making these videos for fun. I know I joked about two viewers earlier, but I'm just trying to prove myself that I can post something regularly enough. And that probably stems deep from commitment issues that I have, possibly. If I wanted to take a deep dive on my psyche, that's probably what I would have to say, is that I can't stick with anything for very long. So we're trying it out with this series. That's all of this series is me committing to this zoo. Eventually I want to do some really decorative glass work. I'll have to figure out how exactly it'll work, but I like those big arching columns that I just had up on the screen, and I'm really hoping I can use those in the future because I think that'll be really cool. So kind of as I was working with this, I was realizing that it looked a little too heavy, and I wanted it to feel really light and airy, like because it's going to be a greenhouse, so I'm kind of wanted to let more light in there, let the whole thing breathe a little bit. So now I'm deleting all that limestone just because it wasn't working for me. Had a little African buffalo escape, but they do that periodically. So the two ends, I'm kind of marking off the middle section of where the guests will kind of walk around. And originally it was going to be just kind of a loop that they can kind of, on the left side they'll see this, whatever animal I choose to put in there. And on the right side they can go see the other animal that's in this exhibit. And it'll kind of be like, kind of sectioned into thirds, I guess. But eventually I decide I'm gonna connect the whole thing. And here's a design choice that I decided to make. I thought it'd be cool if it kind of alluded to the fact that it catches rainwater. And that kind of leads to the central planter display thing that I create. I knew that you could do like a waterfall feature, so I wanted it to kind of look like the water kind of just pours, like as it collects in that thing, in that little narrow space, it kind of pours down through and makes a waterfall feature for the exhibit. I don't know how realistic that is, but I like it. I might add maybe like a pipe or something up to it to make it seem like it's more of a realistic thing in the world. Because right now, obviously, like right now, I guess it's raining in the game, so I guess the waterfall does make sense. But when it's not raining, the waterfall doesn't make sense. So they need some sort of pump, maybe, or maybe only the waterfall works when it's raining. I don't know. The real world logistics kind of get lost in it a little bit, but we're making it kind of just like a little tropical, kind of like warmer climate area. So here I am. I'm gonna attach the whole thing together. We're gonna build up. Cause I like the thought of just having like kind of an obnoxiously large tree inside of a building. I think that kind of shows like the power of architecture if you can build a massive structure and then put a whole tree inside. I really wanted to use this tree. I don't end up using this one because I realized I had to kind of cater it to the animals that I'm putting in there. This was the biggest tree that I found in the game, I think, aside from the redwood. Because I knew at this point I knew I was putting in a tropical animal. I didn't really know which one. Just because space is limited, and I hadn't looked up which animal would be right for the space since I hadn't laid out the exhibit boundaries yet. And now here we are. Last episode, I believe I brought up that my African buffalo were inbreeding, so I wanted to get a new one adopted. Here we are. At first, I wanted to make it kind of an Asian building, but I believe we settle on South American. So I'm just looking through to see what kind of animal would do well in a smaller enclosure. And the binturong seemed to be a pretty good choice. Though those commitment issues are coming back because I do not end up putting the binturong in this exhibit. So now I'm just hiding the null barriers in the wall, trying to figure out the best way to kind of hide that. And then I want to hide the keeper gate as well. So when I put the other exhibit in on the other side, I'll do the same thing. I think that looks really nice to kind of keep the keepers separate from the guests as much as possible. I am looking in to get some more barriers. I don't know if I love the glass. I think I kind of wish it was more traditional with like a chain link or something like that. But I think it'd have to go all the way up to the ceiling. So I'm gonna figure out a better solution for that, I think. I was really sticking with the Asian theme. I was gonna do the macaque, but they didn't really seem like they would fit into the environment that well. Kind of like, because that's kind of like an old English. I feel like you see these buildings in like a Victorian era city or something. So when I thought about a Japanese macaque, I just didn't really see it. So then I decided like South America seems like it would be really good for this exhibit. It matches the trees that I put in there already. So we decided to go with the capuchin monkey And I think it was a good choice. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. That is a finished Victorian era kind of greenhouse exhibit space. I will continue this in the next episode. We will build the whole capuchin exhibit and make them happy little monkeys. Like and subscribe. I'm bringing you videos whether or not they get watched. So, yeah, I will see you later. All right.